Hello YouTube! I come to you today with an announcement about Boarding Party's Patreon, which is now live. You can find it in the link in this video's description. Through those links you will be able to, you'll have the option to join the Discord, view our new post shows that are going to start existing after the sessions that we film, with myself and the players, kind of decompress, talk about everything that happened, just in the moment. There's also an option to be an NPC in the campaign. More details available on the Patreon page itself. And the last thing we want to say is just thank you guys for sticking with us this long and checking out that link if it is something that you want to do. And here is a little sample of the post show so you can kind of get a feel for what you may or may not be getting yourself into. Thank you guys and enjoy the post show.
Got you, fam.
Hot and fresh out the kitchen, it's the remix to Ignition. Welcome back to the D&D table. We're keeping that.
Keeping that. We are keeping that.
That's what you get for being part of our Patreon. Thank you so much.
This is what you paid for. I hope
We're
it's worth
sorry.
it.
Sorry.
But yeah, this is the post show for session 15.
The only one?
Well, I don't know how much I should say. Is this? Are we allowed to spoilers?
Yeah. This is the post show.
Like to this
Post
point.
show for
spoilers.
the battle
Yeah.
with
Okay.
This is
Kaz.
the Talking Dead to the Walking Dead.
Yes.
We talk about.
I missed a time. Let's put them away.
So before I forget, I had this plan. Had Monty been able to stun him,
Oh.
I was gonna shove the shell on his head and have it like stick to him,
Oh.
so that we
With
could
the bomb inside.
yeah
Oh,
to sticky it
snap.
and like poison
Just
him.
shatters his skull inside the
So-
shell.
He could have been stuck in there. We could have taken him out, or like got him to a point where he would have been incapacitated. That's what I was trying to do, but
That would've been crazy.
Never got a stun off.
I feel like you would have had to get like a 20, like.
Well, that's why I wanted to
roll
stun
and
him.
Dexterity,
Crits.
yeah, to do that.
But if he was stunned, he
It
would
would've
have been
been a lot
able to
easier.
move.
Yeah.
And I would have had advantage.
Would have been helpful.
Damn
I still feel like
legendary
you would've had to
ability.
get, like,
He had one. He needed one. That's all it needed.
What were those?
That is what high-level D&D monsters get. They get legendary actions and legendary
I was going to
reactions.
say you were in it, but the cops fight.
Oh, that was also utilized there.
Mhm.
Interesting.
So something like an ancient dragon doesn't do things on its turn, does stuff on your turns. So that's why
That's
Kaz
why
was
he
able to do things.
Okay,
he had
I was gonna say, I was like, this is crazy. He's
He had
just doing
3
whatever he
legendary
wants.
actions per round, and it was 1 action to fire off the pulse beam, 2 actions to heal, 1 action to teleport.
Wow, we did surprisingly well. Then.
Yeah.
You did.
I mean, I was single
lot
digit
of-
HP on my entire team.
I only
You did a
took
lot.
2 hits. Bang was the only one that really took a big hit.
I mean, Monty took a big hit, Nubster took a big hit. I don't
And
think my Pokemon took any
William
damage,
died.
but
yeah, well,
They they took.
I mean, the problem is like Kaz would have to recover and was using
Yeah.
actions to do that,
Yeah.
which definitely bulked up his longevity, but wasn't
Yeah.
allowing him to do as much damage.
Yeah,
to us.
which was good. I was a little concerned in the beginning because Little Buddy's the only one I have that can do any damage to Ghastlies. So it's like, hopefully we can take them out, but
Yeah.
they weren't that big of a threat.
I kind of have the same
Ghastlies.
issue because I have two of my 4 attacks with my Pokemon are bludgeoning, which doesn't hit ghosts. And obviously Mach Punch whiffed like the first 3 tries, so that wasn't great either, but yeah.
I have a question for you.
Sure.
You had a very clear strategy on what you wanted to do
Uh-huh.
when we did watch. Did you just pick like an ability that you wanted him to learn from like the games, and you were just like, yeah, he's gonna do that, and then you figured out a way to do it?
So I was thinking more of, because I mean, like any Pokemon in the games, they have like 50 some odd moves they can learn.
Right.
In the context of this, I was trying to think of what would Milo be able to think of for him to learn. So like long term, that's what my goal would be. But thinking in like he doesn't have a lot of HP and his AC is really low. So on a defensive standpoint, just being able to be in a ball is a positive.
For sure.
Plus he could move in it. So that's my starting point. Just thinking in that regard, because everything's been. He doesn't have the bulkiest Pokemon. They tend to go out pretty quick when they get hit.
Mm-hmm.
So he was just thinking in that context.
Okay. So follow-up question for Drew as DM. So the way that I've understood how you've built our like little Pokemon D&D is that each Pokemon has 2 attacks and then that like kind of bonus action-y thing, which is basically like a non-attacking move in real Pokemon, like double team for Evinrude. Is it like that across the board for every Pokemon that you've made, or can some have 3 attacks? Okay.
Some have 3 attacks, some have all utility. Most of them are a mixture in some way.
So have you given thought to like anyone on our team like swapping a move or like having a move upgrade or adding like a 3rd attack or a bonus action on top of what they already have?
So that's the Water Bite and Ice Beam.
I think that's like more up to us than anything.
But yeah.
Yeah, so I was curious like how that's gonna work, because I figure with like Mortar especially, I've kind of like gone back and forth. Like the first thing that Bentley tried to do was teach him like Thunder Punch for the first flying gym, thinking that would be like super helpful, but it's like the degree of difficulty for that to happen plus not having access to electricity was like, that's not super feasible. So that was what I first went with. And then Jordan in the last episode was going with like Bang, trying to come up with, I think you were trying to come up with like a non-attacking thing that could maybe like beef him up, or just or the kicking. So like a different attack on top of the 2 attacks that he has. So that's kind of like the avenue now, is like, do I want a 3rd attacking move, or do I want something that could potentially be like a hold your ground strategic kind of a deal?
Yeah. That's kind of like, that's where I feel like it's up to you more than anything. Because like I like where CJ was headed with the kicks, just because it's outside the box for Bang.
Yeah.
Like he's all about the physicality of it, but he literally only uses his hands.
Only punches.
So it's pretty cool to like integrate more of his body. So down the line, even if he gets a kick, it might be something he could do as a bonus action, like grapple and kick or something.
Yeah, the other thing I was thinking of like is utilizing his tail, which he literally used to save Bentley's life.
Yeah. Like that's the kind of stuff that, like when we're out of combat, I'm always thinking about that. Like that's the one thing that's on the forefront of my mind.
Yeah, because that's probably something I could do more of outside of actually playing, is doing more like real Pokemon research of like, okay, here are the things that maybe I could learn that would assist in D&D world.
Yeah. I'm happy now because my Violet's #1 priority was getting rid of that 3-sided die. Now that that's gone.
You should have seen Joel's reaction to not having to use the 3-sided die. He hated that thing so much.
So I'm excited that I can look at other things for her, because that was the only thing I like. What do I want from Violet? To get rid of that dumb die. Like that's the only thing.
And then the first battle where you didn't have it, it was critical fail 2.
That was terrible.
So bad. Yeah, the beginning of that battle was horrendous, and then we finally got it together, but yeah, that was not well done. How many critical fails did we roll?
A lot.
There were a lot.
Yeah.
In a row.
Like 2 in a row
they were
for
in a
sure.
row.
Yeah, because Evinrude rolled 1 for sure. You rolled 2 in one go in a row.
One of CJ's Pokemon rolled 1.
Yep.
Yeah, so at least 4.
Did William roll
So
1?
bad.
No, I thought maybe.
On the on William's sand attack,
Yeah.
both Bang and Growl critically failed.
Oh yeah. But he never critically failed.
I have a question for Ben, but then it'll go more towards everybody. Is there anything in particular that you have in your mind for this mine visit? Like something that you're looking for? Because I feel like the desert, like we're set on fire types.
I have a lot of fire.
But
Yeah.
like, is there anything in particular that like you're hoping to round out your team?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously I'm like a huge Pokemon fan outside of D&D, and I've kind of been taking that knowledge into D&D of like trying to get a well-rounded team in terms of types, even though in D&D world it doesn't matter as much. I feel like with gyms, like as we face more and more of those, it will. Like we're probably going to see a lot of that against the fire gym, wherein it's like I think all of our fire types will be dealing out half damage, but also taking half damage. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but
I know for sure.
I'm pretty sure that's how it's going to work.
Well,
But just from how it's worked so far.
Yeah, I mean, our fire types all have flash fire, so we're going to be taking less and dealing more, which will equate to less. So it'll kind of even out, because the double damage we're doing will be the regular amount.
And then there was also a battle earlier on where it was Mortar and Nubster facing off, and it was like Nubster would do half damage to Mortar because he's doing cold damage, which he resists, but then I think Nubster has an ability where he like takes...
Thick fat.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
got
Slash
Oblivious.
Oblivious.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so he
there's-
just...
Yeah, Nubster was the one where I couldn't decide, so I gave them both.
But yeah, it was
That's
like...
such a baller.
I was like, this is harmless.
But anyway, in terms of the mind, like prior to the Ghost episode, when we were moving across the desert with Pendleton, that whole time leading up to that episode, I was like, I have all these ideas. Like I'm gonna do perception checks. I'm gonna look for like snake trails and all this sorts of stuff, and like try and find my third team member. And then the episode started, and Drew was like, all right, well, Pendleton has led you into the town. I'm like, well, okay, there goes any idea I had. But I feel like